The lymph nodes are areas that concentrate white blood cells. So the immune system and the lymph system interact mainly at the lymph nodes. Let's talk about that today. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Minke. This is Minke Wellness. As we approach this immune system focus from a wellness approach, it's useful to look at, as many angles as we can. The immune system is all over the body. It's extremely complicated, but we can start to kind of pin down a few things. And one of them is this interaction between the lymphatic system and the immune system, and that happens mostly in the lymph nodes. Now, you and I know lymph nodes from a standpoint of the most common lymph nodes we talk about are actually tonsils and adenoids, right? Those are the lymph nodes in the back of the throat, back in here, and they're responsible for cleaning up and filtering the material that comes through the mouth. It's a primary defense. It's a huge defense mechanism to prevent stuff to get through into the respiratory system and into the digestive system through the mouth. So it's cleaning up the mouth. Obviously, those get infected, they get swollen, and unfortunately, the current medical model for fixing that is to remove the lymph nodes. There may be certain contexts where that's appropriate if the lymph node has gotten calcified or some such, but I certainly think that it's worth doing everything you can to save the lymph nodes, especially as a young child. These lymph nodes are there to, as the lymph filter and immune system, place where the immune system is housed, to protect. Okay, you take that away, and all of a sudden, people think it's weird. The symptom is I have a sore throat, so the fix is remove what's sore. Okay, so what can we do about the lymph nodes in the throat? Of course, we've got Thieves Vitality and massage, right? So we could dab a little Thieves back there. We could put that in a little spray form and spray that back here, mix it with a little witch hazel or even just a little bit of vodka, alcohol, and spray that back in there and get the throat coated with the Thieves. This is the Vitality we're talking about. Vitality Thieves. Okay, great supplement to support the circulation in the lymph. It's got the extra power of cinnamon, and the lemon is great for the lymphatic system. So we got a lot of, and clove is a super antioxidant, and rosemary is chemoprotectant. So we've got a lot of tools in the Thieves blend that can help with the immune system and help with the lymph system. So this is a great combination. And again, we could just spray that in there, make a little mixture of Thieves oil with a little bit of alcohol, like vodka or whatever you're, maybe even spearmint schnapps. That might actually taste good, huh? Anyway, you could spray that in there, and the nice thing about clove is it tends to numb a little bit, so you get that soothing effect of the clove on the nerve endings, and yet you still get the benefit of helping with the lymph system. So we want to protect those lymph nodes. Partly we want to make sure there's drainage. So the lymph nodes for the upper, for the head and neck, there's lymph nodes down here, there's lymph nodes that go around. We want to make sure they drain, and that goes back to our lymph massage. We want to make sure that the collarbone areas, this is the area this needs to be loose. This comes back to that being healthy in general means healthy physically. We can't carry a whole lot of tension and stress and expect to be healthy in our neck, in our jaw, in our head. We're not getting good circulation to our head. We're not draining the lymph out of our throat, right? So these are problems. We're not getting good circulation to our thyroid. You can take all the thyroid medication you want, but if you're not getting good circulation through the front of your neck because of the tension, then the medication's not getting where it needs to go. So this is the massage at the collarbone. Open up the shoulders, get the shoulders relaxed, the traps relaxed. Do a little massage, and then this action here of draining of once the collarbones are opened up. I've done a little bit of massage along here, little circle, circles on the collarbone, a little pressure on the inside and outside of the collarbone, or I should say, above and below the collarbone. And now I've opened up this a little bit, and then I would go and start at the lower end and then come around. I've done this massage several times for the face massage, and you can see the circulatory benefit. It gets, starts to get a little bit red and pushes that fluid down. And now I'll do the other side, same thing, open this up. So this is, if you're having an issue of the throat, the lymph nodes in the throat that are unhappy, and even if this is a child, you could do this for the child. then we can use the Thieves Vitality. There's also the Thieves lozenges, very soothing, also on our program this month. So great way to address the lymph nodes and the immune system. What about the other lymph nodes? So first of all, there are lymph nodes all over the body. The lymph nodes are I should say, they're not all over the body. They tend to concentrate in certain areas, but what I'm saying is that they're not just in the jaw or in the neck, in the throat. We got mainly lymph nodes concentrate in the groin and armpit, so the axillary area, in the groin area, and then all along the digestive tract, deep in the abdomen, along the digestive tract, all the lymph nodes in there. What are lymph nodes for? They're there as a filter system to clean the lymph, okay? And the lymph is that drainage system out of the tissue. And that's where the immune system can also, it's got a permanent residence in the lymph nodes. The white blood cells are there in concentration to help. Once the filter clears out junk, well, that junk needs to be dealt with, and that's where the immune system comes in. So we have that connection, that physical connection. So if I breathe in and feel my lymph nodes in my throat, well, I'm missing all of my tonsils adenoids. They've all been taken out when I was a kid. So, but I mean, I have a few of these here. Once I had my lymphoma, post-chemo lymphoma issues, then I can now feel all of my lymph nodes are still swollen. And so I can palpate just about every one of them. And there's a couple down here that I feel that, so I can breathe into those lymph nodes. I can, again, I can be using my Thieves Vitality oil, put a little drop in water if I wanted to do that, and then drink that or spray that in, make a little spray, and then I can breathe that in and imagine those lymph nodes being saturated with the oil, and imagine the white blood cells being activated, the immune cells being activated and taking care and mopping up of anything that's there, whether it's chemicals or toxins or foreign debris or whatever it is. Okay, the immune system handles all of that. Now I'd go down in the lymph nodes in the, breathe into the left armpit. And that, of course, it clears the arm, and the chest goes into the armpit here, left armpit. So again, I'm breathing that in, breathing into the right. And the listening breath, I could kind of find out, okay, is this open? Is it feeling good? Down the whole core, deep in the core. Now the diaphragm actually goes down and pumps the main lymph system. So just deep breathing will actually help pump your lymph. And if we can make that connection, just consciously connect to the immune system as part of that, you can go back to the video on lymph breathing that we did way back in February. So, okay, so I'm breathing in and just imagining, using my imagination to engage in the immune system, the cellular level of the immune system. These are the defense cells, if you want to think of them as little soldiers, or whatever imagery works for you, little angels floating around, flying through the body. Okay, and so this is all part of the immune system and the lymph system. Now, in order to be well in for our immune system, a wellness approach, you have to start to realize that you start to see how all these things dovetail. We're not going to have a healthy immune system if our circulatory system is all clogged up. This is why I've waited this long in our program to do the immune system, is because there's all this baseline stuff that has to happen. And if your body's junked up with metals, hopefully by now, as you've been doing, we're on our 10th month, we've at least begun some cleansing. We've made some lifestyle changes. We're no longer putting in a whole bunch of toxins. So we give our immune system by now has a chance to kind of recover, because a lot of these toxins, like partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, takes 9 months to get out of the system. And so hopefully by now we've kind of gotten a little of this stuff. We've made a little bit of a shift, and now we can start to pay attention to, at the cellular level, the immune system as it's engaging in its work. So that's the rationale for waiting this long. It was very purposeful that I was doing some of the more foundational stuff, the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the digestive system, elimination system, all those critical for us to have a healthy immune system. So now, if you're coming in and just going, okay, I want to just focus on this wellness approach to the immune system, yes, of course, it does help for us to engage in these kinds of awarenesses and be aware of our lymph nodes and things like that. So Just as a final note, what do I do if I have a swollen, painful lymph node? Okay, and let's say it's down in the groin. Well, again, I need to massage and open the lymph system. Now, be careful. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on a swollen lymph node. But we do want to get that massage. If you need to see a professional lymph therapist, that would be advisable. And then you can get all the lymph opened up. If you haven't had that done, very good time to do this, to open up the lymph system so that we can really access the immune system. But topical massage, what kind of oils would I put on? I would go back and use our Laurus Nobilis. You can use lavender, tea tree. Any of these can enhance a massage. And again, I'm just doing my massage that helps to open the lymph. So would I rub the essential, would I do massage directly on the lymph node? Yeah, I would. I mean, be gentle. You don't want to, grind into a swollen lymph node, but I would definitely rub, because we're talking about needing to move fluid through that lymph node. And I feel like the essential oils enhance massage, so I would be using any of those: Laurus Nobilis, lavender, tea tree, something along those lines. Maybe not the Thieves, because especially if that lymph node is in a sensitive area, then it's it's going to be a little bit sharp with that cinnamon oil. So these are just some tools that we can use, just gentle massaging. I would do that 3 or 4 times a day on that little lymph node, not to the point where I'm creating any irritation, in that. And certainly, if you're doing a massage and you're using the oil, if an essential oil irritates the skin, you can either dilute it or you can work with a different oil. If you're finding that no matter, I start to do this massage into this lymph, this clogged lymph area, and I'm doing a little massage, and it's getting irritated, no matter what oil I use, no matter what I'm doing, then it's probably a detox reaction. You got chemicals trapped in that lymph node, and they're starting to come out on the skin. Again, so here's where we go back to supporting detox with vitamin C and sulfurzyme, which is part of our program this month, and just getting the nutrients the body needs to detoxify and clear that out, okay? So the connection between lymph and immune system is very clear, and coming back and revisiting the time that we've spent with the lymph system, and then tying that into the immune system and bringing the immune awareness of activating our immune system. Again, the immune system is very sensitive to our thoughts, the field of psychoneuroimmunology, which is to say that when we have a certain if we have a stressful thinking, it can actually inhibit our immune function. If we have positive thinking, we can actually encourage or engage our immune system in a positive way. So I like to focus on the positive. So I like the idea of bringing in the positive thinking and inviting God's love to come into my body and to soak into my immune cells, and like I said, cavalry or whatever, and I get them activated so they can do their job, which is to defend the body against invasion. I know that in today's world we want to kind of think about world peace and all the rest of that stuff. But if you understand that our bodies, and God has designed our bodies to have defensive mechanisms, then it's not inappropriate to think about defending against an enemy. I know that sounds like a negative thought, but that's part of the physical makeup of our bodies, and I think you can see that in our world. We do need a certain amount of defensive capability, because there's stuff out there that wants to eat us. And so that's just a reality, biological reality at this point, and most of what we're talking about, of course, is microbial. So, okay, so again, getting good at breathing in and imagining the immune cells engaged, activated, and we'll talk a little bit more about both those people who feel like you have an autoimmune or you have a diagnosed autoimmune disease where your immune system is overactive, how we can work with that. But today we're going to still work with activating the immune system in the lymph nodes, and you can, especially like I said, if you have an area that is stressed, then you kind of activate and send those immune cells over to that lymph area and see how that quiet things down. And usually in about 10 minutes I can feel the difference, actually feel the difference in that lymph node. Okay, happy wellness, one day at a time.